Hello and welcome to Top Free. Someone has rightly said that failure is not the opposite of success. It's a part of success, and definitely it is the first step to success.
Failure is a beautiful learning. One learns so much from failures. One can have infinite opportunities from failures if only people realize that failure is not fatal. It is not the end of world.
It is the starting of a new world where one can use their talent, capabilities, and where they can rethink, get new ideas, and follow their goals.
It is okay if you fail in exams. Results don't determine whether you are successful or not. Even if you fail 10 times, 20 times, it's fine. Though it's easier said than done, look at the better side. You are getting to learn variety of things, gaining in-depth knowledge, and most importantly, it shows how patient you are. You will get the degree, definitely, sooner or later.
Failing in your business or startups, when you know where to reach, when you can see your goal, then failures don't mean anything. If one plan didn't work, the other would. Failure is not trying at all because of fear or not getting up after falling down.
Failure is the key to success, and each mistake teaches us something. And I believe more the failures, more interesting will be the content for TEDx.
I remember you telling this in your interview at your book launch, and I so very agree. PM, don't you think that people consider themselves as failures when they compare themselves with others, especially on social media, and get upset?
Comparison is the thief of joy, and people do this every single time. Failure in exam, business, job is not failing in life. People need to understand this.
Yes. Failures are building blocks to success. If your will is strong, then nothing in the world can stop you from achieving success, not even failures.
What I believe is if you learn from failures and come back stronger, it isn't exactly failure. You are simply learning new ways of doing things. Many people think their life to be a failure, and this is the worst thing that they can think of.
Every one of us has a purpose, and we need to find out and just go after it. Well, now it is the time to welcome our guest for today.
Sachin Sinha is a young and dynamic budding chef of New Tomorrow. He did his hotel management in Edinburgh, Scotland, with a major in kitchen with Italian cuisine. He worked at a few pop-up restaurants in India and worked in fine dining restaurant in New York City. In his initial years, he moved around and worked in almost all different disciplines of restaurants, from pubs to fine dining to breakfast setups, and in countries like Russia, England, Singapore, India. Currently, he is doing his master's in advanced cooking in Australia, Sydney, and working in Italian restaurant. We welcome you, Sachin, to Talk Free.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm really humbled. I'm really humbled with this beautiful introduction. Thank you.
Welcome, Sachin.
Hi, Sanjay. It's always a pleasure to see you. How are you?
I'm
Thank
fine.
you.
Okay. Sachin, why do you think failure to be an important part of success?
Well, I have a very simple analogy to the whole thing as in failure. I mean, I have never taken things. Usually, I mean, anything what I have always wanted has never came to me straight up. And I think failures are just a way to attend something. Failures sort of tests you in terms of how much you really wanted that thing. Say for instance, if I really want to uh, want something, then I would try to go and try to book that thing and get that thing. In terms of talking about if I want to go and see a movie, if I'm going for a movie, if I can't find the tickets, I'll be coming back home because it was not that important to me. But if it's something so urgent that I have to see someone, which is really important, no matter if I can't find a bus, I'll take a train. I can't find a train, I will take detours. So failures not only makes you very humble, it also makes you very important. It makes you realize how bad you really want it. You know, and it's not the success what defines you. It's basically the struggles and how you dealt with the failures. And nothing comes to you very easy. If it actually came, then probably ask yourself, was that really that important? Because you know, something which you will get very easy, you won't really respect that as much. I have felt that, so failures makes you only stronger. And yeah, I mean, now with this current situation, whatever is going on, nothing is going with the plans. We have all must have planned something for 2020, and nothing happened to come the way it should be. We all have been settling or somewhere maneuvering our plans, so whether it be a traveling or career wise, it's not working the way we wanted. So it's about time that just uh, how you deal with it is what it's basically. And a long time back, my parents told me that the bad time will fly and the good times will fly too. So be humble at the good times and be hardworking at the bad times. That's how I deal with that's my take on failures.
Lovely, lovely. Sachin, could you share your example with the viewers encountering failures and then rising up?
There are so many. There are so
Our
many.
viewers would be delighted
Yeah.
to hear your failure stories because now you are a success. They have always heard
Um,
about success stories. It's time to hear about failure stories.
yeah, I'm not quite sure if I'm almost there in terms of success. I feel like the love is a verb. You always have to prove it by doing it. Success is an adjective. It makes it glorify whatever it is in front of. And I think for me, yeah, there's quite a lot of failure stories. One that I would really want to mention as in terms of initial um challenges that I have seen in my life. So, like me and Sanjay, and we are actually friends from high school, and we grew up in a society where it was very natural and it was sort of no brainer. As soon as you're done with your class 12, apply for chartered accountancy. And we lived in Bara Bazaar in Kolkata, and pretty much everybody is doing some sort of commercial degree, some sort of chartered degree in. And no matter, my heart was not there, which was very evident. Sanjay was a very close friend of mine. He has seen me. I had a condition to sort of, I did not really enjoy schooling in terms of studies. I mean, I was very serious with a lot of other things. I was not blunt, but certainly I did not enjoy studying in schools. And reflecting that, I could not score as much as I would want to sort of go to St. Xavier's College, which was one of the very niche and pristine colleges of my time. And most of my friend actually went there. And at that time, I knew that I'm not into that, and I do not want to be associated with this sort of. I have never seen myself working in a office job. No disrespect to that, but it was something I would have never done. But क्योंकि अब सबका हुआ मेरा नहीं हुआ, so I was disheartened. But at that point I realized maybe there was a blessing in disguise. And that's when I was sitting home. These old folks were going to school and attending colleges. I was jealous. I mean, it was one of the nicest thing that could have ever happened to a student. So mera nahi hua, and that's when I did a lot of critical thinking, and that's when I realized that it's about time that I should really go for something that I would really enjoy doing, and I will be happy bringing the bread to the table. And then I realized that cooking was that thing. I've always cooked, and unfortunately, I did not had a lot of people to look up. If I would have done CA, मेरे घर पे examples थे, मेरे चाचा CA हैं. I had a lot of friends who were CA. I had few. I mean, in Bara Bazaar, there is a saying, drop a drop a stone on a person, I think he'll be a CA. So होली में जिस पे balloon गिरता है वो CA ही होता है. So I did not had a lot of people when it came to become a CA, but uh, I moved to this department, and took time, and now I feel I'm very happy in terms of when I'm having a job, or when I'm doing what I'm doing. I'm very excited to go to work. So not being able to go to St. Xavier's College is, it seems like a blessing today. So yeah, that was a failure which made me understand the reality of my existence to what I'm doing today.
I suppose even
Was that
while
for me?
doing like studying for chef, it mustn't wouldn't have been easy for you. You must have encountered a lot of family pressure, or pursuing a career which wasn't very famous in our society as such, and then
Oh,
going abroad all by yourself, searching, researching, and then landing into a good job, a good career.
Oh yeah, definitely. It was, Preeti ma'am. It was definitely a very challenging situation in terms of convincing my parents, because, parents are more subjected to what society has to say, and my parents would always discuss with their fellow contenders, and most of the reactions were so horrible, and a lot of people, almost mostly, they had this notion कि अब तुम बावर्ची बनेगा, इतना पढ़ाया लिखा है तुमको इंग्लिश मीडियम में, अब तुम खाना बनाएगा जाके. And my parents were a little conservative at that point, and they did not sort of understand how, I mean, looking back 6 7 years ago when I started my career, things have definitely growing, and it'll grow more further. But at that time, it was very hard to explain my vision to my parents. And sometimes with the Indian setup, you definitely have to go through what they has to say, and they were not quite happy. So moving forward, it was a big challenge to explain them that I feel very confident to what I want to do. Having said that, मेरे को खुद भी नहीं पता था कि जो हम सोच रहे हैं वैसा pan out होगा या नहीं होगा. But ultimately my mother, I would say, she believed in my ideas. She wasn't very sure, but she was very sure with my ideas. She believed in me, and the promises that I happen to make, I'm still working on it. And looking back, I think my parents are more happier now than they could have ever been. So, initial few years was definitely difficult, and mostly because of the society, because my parents would not have a very um, confident feedbacks from the people they would discuss my career about. But yeah, it's sometimes it's all about the first push, and later on things sort of get lined up. And क्योंकि इतना ज्यादा डर खुद में भी रहता है that you keep on working, you don't take things for granted, you really respect the chance that has been given to you. And yeah, things worked out. Things worked out for me. I was pretty blessed.
Sachin, what are your mantras to overcome failure?
Right now we are in a position where things are so uncharted. Usually I would say, if you're doing something that has been, that has not shown colors, then do it differently or something like that. But we as a human society are in such a uncharted situation right now. Take for instance whatever is happening around with this virus, and so much has been affected. So there are times where there could be plans or critic thinking, like, if I've done something wrong, I would come, like, say, for instance, if I work in a service industry, where I work in as a chef, if a day of service has gone down, then I come home, prepare what has gone down, and how could I make things better? Well, that could be one thing. But recently, what we are seeing is that something what is happening is not in my control. There were plans which could not show colors. There were ideas which could not get into placement. And it's nothing to do with me. It is something that the world has been dealing together. So sometimes you just take it easy and believe that tomorrow is not going to be the same thing. Probably next week, it's not going to be the same thing, because change happens to be the only constant. Sab din hot na ek saman. That is something that my grandmother would say. So, and one more thing that I would say, that believing in God is very important. Believing in God is very important, because जैसे हर गलत सही का एक इलाज होता है. I really believe in karma, and I believe that somebody is operating that system. If you have, agar, if you're a chartered accountant, you make sure that a company is giving some money to someone and bringing some money from someone. तो ये दुनिया का भी तो कोई ना कोई हिसाब रख रहा है. Everybody is getting treated properly. Everybody is getting what they really deserve through their karmas. I really believe there is a God who takes care of everything. I'm very spiritual in that sense. And you know that we have spent a lot of time together. So I believe, there is a sailing through process. Sometimes it would just get better. And I would like to say something in my colloquial language, which is Bihari Bhojpuri. कि अजगर करे ना चाकरी, पंछी करे ना काज, सात खंड नौ दीप जले, सबके दाता राम. तो अजगर कोई चाकरी नहीं करता है, और पंछी कोई काम नहीं करता है. सातों खंड में नया दीप हर दिन जलता है, क्योंकि सबके दाता राम. So sometimes, when it's not something you can really take care of, just leave it alone, and things will just get better. Belief system is very important.
Sachin, sometimes failures are treated as insult, especially due to social media. Like, is this the right way? Like, people
Isn't
compare
social.
a lot over social media. People post their things about success, being successful, but nobody posts about being a failure. So when people compare their life with others, they consider their life as a failure. So it's an insult to them. They feel as if it's an insult to them. So is it the right way to treat and then come back stronger, or is it like their self-esteem goes down? So which is the correct way according to you?
Right. So, Preeti ma'am, I don't really believe that, it's a very superficial world in terms of social media, be it your Instagram or Snapchat, and there's so many these days. I do not have a track of all of them. And I'm pretty much not on all of those medias as well. And I think personally what I feel is social media, in terms of, it's a place where you actually showcase your fantasies, or maybe you showcase what actually best thing happened to you in your life. Probably you would never post a day when you're getting divorced from the court. Okay, this is the post I'm putting, but probably you'll post a photo of from your wedding. And so usually it is a place where people try to showcase most of the happening things, or maybe the fantasies they want to be and the places they want to go, and something that would be in their dreams. I mean, and just so it's so much of, distraction and vulnerability there. uh, I mean, it's really unfair to sort of judge yourself through those eyes, because that is a very fake world. I don't take them seriously. When I mean I don't take them seriously, is that I don't let them gauge my growth or my personality. It should be, well, social media is very important. It's, the time that I grew up, there was nothing like that. I'm a 90s kid, so I'm almost a pre-internet gen now. But things have definitely changed, and we all are trying to cope up with that. But I'm still old school, and I have listened to a lot of podcasts. I do actually listen to your videos as well, because it's more
Okay,
motivating.
that's
And
great.
yes, and I heard it from Jay Shetty. He's somebody that I would always listen to while working
Okay,
out,
Shetty,
and he
yes.
said that it's a very superficial world. Uh, Especially when it came to internet, people do want to showcase what sometimes they not really are. And the badgering what they get is because you're providing that sort of headspace to them. It's almost like you're listening to the society who does not really play an important role. So you do not have to be providing your self-esteem to them. And you know it's bad. I mean, sometimes the mind is not as strong as the brain should be. We lose fate, we lose our times, but I think for that, I would say I don't take internet that seriously, and one should not. It should be just for the entertainment, and you know, if something is bothering you to that extent, just don't be there as much. Uh, it does not really help. Uh, Especially, you should also, and actually, to be honest, you should also understand whether or not that piece of advice is that important for you or not. Like, in terms of, if there is a critical thinking, if it's productive criticism, you have to take it. And sometimes you can't just take things by heart. It's one of those things. Like, sometimes you just take things and try to understand and make yourself a better person, and other times you just have to ignore them, and it comes all with the time. That's how I see it.
Absolutely, Sachin rightly said. Sachin, uh, I've seen that many a times people are scared of coming out of their comfort zone, mainly because of the thought that they might fail. How should people deal with such illusions?
I suppose you came out of your comfort zone.
Yeah, well, for me, I think I did yes and no. I mean, I came out of my comfort zone in terms of I do not. If I would have done what my parents would wanted, it would be the same thing. That maybe I was not enjoying it, but I'm doing it because I mean, at the end of the day, if I'm not successful, I can blame my parents. Hey, listen, you know what? You never let me do what I wanted to do, so bear with it. Not everybody could be that. I wasn't that smart, but at the same time, when I was coming out of my comfort zone, I felt I was happy that I'm able to enjoy the craft I'm doing. So it was sort of iffy. It was hard because I did not know what I'm trying to do. I did not had a career to follow. I did not had somebody to look up as much, but I was doing okay. I was happy because 8 or 6 hours of work what I'm every day putting in, it's not a work, it's more like a fun time for me because I happen to enjoy that. And I'm very blessed that I do what I really like. But getting back to the question is, how to get out of the comfort zone is, it's very important. But sometimes I feel something what you really want, you would do sacrifices. Let's go back to our time when we were young and dumb, and probably in our high schools, and everybody has a crush. We all did. I had. So we would do things for something that I have loved, and that would definitely put me out of my comfort zone. There were times, I'm not going to mention anybody's names probably, but those were the days when I was broke. I didn't have a lot of money, and I did not had a lot of resources in terms of making a acing relationship. But I was doing it without even knowing. Oh, aaj jab ghoom ke dekhte hain, so like I used to walk that long just to see her, or probably something like that. So without giving the specifics, when you really want something, you just come out of your comfort zone, and you, without even knowing it, you just do it because probably you have to decide if you really want to do that. And once you do it, like, sometimes big things takes some sacrifices, and that's how it was. And sometimes when you are in a dark place in your life or career wise, and you need to understand that this is not how it should be for tomorrow, then you have to develop some set of routines. Like, if talking seriously, like, there's nothing you could see working out in terms of your career, and you have seen ki bhai is tarah se to ab chalega nahi, ab next 5 years I have to have some plans and nothing worked out, then change the pattern of your living, inculcate some good habits that not only helps you to develop yourself, but you have to change the pattern. I read somewhere that change of routine is very important. Someone has to have a morning routine, but that's a different topic altogether. That morning rituals, like, something I would want to say is morning rituals are very important. That not only makes you active, but once you have an active set of mind, you want to sort of fight rather than fly against the problems. And when you have that tendency of going all through in fighting, then challenges seems to be dealt with more smoothly. So two piece of advice: if you love something, then there is no such challenge. And if you really don't love something but you really want to do something good with your career or life, change your routine. Change your routine. That changes your mindset, that changes your orientation of brain.
What suggestions would you like to give our viewers so that they can stop thinking about failures and focus on success?
You know, like if tomorrow I would have kids, or still I have my younger siblings, I've never taught them to worry about success as much. Obviously cherish good feelings. It's a human nature. What makes you happy would always make you happy, and failures does not really tend to make you happy as much. But my take on life would be, don't be too hard on yourself. Recognize your mistakes and don't really worry about success. Just do your part, because that's a very, it's more like a trophy wife. You just want it, but if you really don't want it, then you don't want it. Success is, be good in your craft. uh I have never asked anybody to be successful, because like I said earlier, love is a verb and success is an adjective. It could be anything. For me it could be a good chef, for you it could be to be a good teacher, someone for to be a good father. And we all happen to do the same things, what we really want. We all are successful at the end, right? So I would just say that there is nothing as such which will really make you successful in everybody's eyes. Just try to do the craft and best of your job, to what you're given or what you have chosen to be. you know be loyal to yourself, be loyal to your boss, don't cheat. um, Remember, you don't have to be the best, but just be the best of yourself. uh, you know Provide each and every penny of the service that you're getting the money for. you know just try to do a good job, is 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 my thing. And when I happen to do that, when I have a good day at work and I feel like my my owners or my restaurant owners would not feel that this guy is been getting paid for no reason and he's not providing a quality service, I think we should fire him. That's when I feel it's not worth it. And the day I would feel like that, I would just leave this business. I would leave this whole thing and probably try to do something else, become a model, or maybe, I don't know, maybe fishing. That would be thing. So I like my job and I want to provide the best of my ability, and without cheating and with all honesty, and try to do a quality service. And that's what makes me happy. And I feel that is almost being successful. So that is how I think success is to me. Winning, I don't think winning is a success, or only winning is a success or an alternative. No, that builds up a lot of pressure, and in pressure, not a lot of people come out with a lot of beautiful colors. Be a better human being. That's it. Do your good job. Don't cheat. Be a best of yourself. That's a success for me.
Well, failure is a prerequisite for great success. If you want to succeed faster, double your rate of failures. Well, Sachin, we are glad you came to talk free and shared your views on failure, the first step to success. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. My pleasure. It's a beautiful. I mean, you guys are doing an amazing job. It's very beautiful, and it's not only something that people should listen to, but it's very inspirational, especially the budding age of our generation. We really need a lot of people like you, who would provide not only a lot of wisdom, but also a lot of critical thinking, that it's okay. And there's so many questions at that age which is unanswered, and we really look up to some people who could address them. You guys are doing an amazing job, and you're a big fan what you and Sanjay are into these days. So please keep doing that. We all are getting motivated. We all are getting inspired, and
You.
I'm humbled. I'm very humbled. With all my humility, I am very happy to be a part of today's session. It was really nice.
Thank you so much, Sachin, for being a part of Talk Free. Yes, absolutely, a totally new concept of failure. And yes, our viewers will be delighted hearing you. Failures are not failures, they are success in work in progress.
And viewers,
Right.
don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel Talk Free. Follow us on Facebook page Talk Free, Instagram Talk Free underscore, and Twitter Talk Free 6. And thank you. We are signing off. And until then, Talk Free.
See you next Friday with a fresh new topic. Thank you.